3 brokers, millions of dollars, carriers still waiting. R&R Transport Services, AGX Freight, Helix Logistics, 3 separate broker operations that shut down in recent months, and collectively they left carriers chasing tens of millions of dollars in unpaid invoices. These are not small operations with 1 or 2 carriers attached. These are companies with significant freight volume, established relationships, and enough apparent legitimacy that experienced operators had no reason to question them. You can haul the load clean, you can deliver on time, you can send the POD the same day, and you can still become an unsecured creditor chasing a check that never comes. That is not a theoretical risk in April 2026. It is an active condition in the market. And if you are booking brokered freight without running a specific set of checks first, you are taking on more risk than most operators realize. January 2026 brought a new FMCSA rule on broker financial responsibility. The intent was good: tighten up the bond requirements, increase disclosure obligations, and give carriers more protection when brokers collapse. Here is the honest assessment of what it changes. The rule requires a $75,000 bond or trust fund. That is the same number that has been in place for years, and it has always been a shared pool. When a broker shuts down owing money to carriers, every unpaid carrier files against the same $75,000. In documented broker failures, carriers have recovered anywhere from 10 to 30 cents on the dollar. The new rule improves some disclosure mechanics. It does not change the shared bond math. What the rule does add is more stringent identity verification requirements for broker registration. The FMCSA is still actively posting fraud alerts as of April 2026. They are still running public guidance on identity verification. The fact that a federal agency feels the need to keep publishing fraud alerts tells you something important. This problem has not been solved. It has been managed slightly better. More than half of owner-operators responding to a 2026 Overdrive survey reported being touched by some form of broker fraud or broker payment problem. That is not an outlier. That is an industry operating condition that you are working inside of every week. Double brokering is still the most common scam pattern, and it keeps working because it preys on the speed of the spot market. Here is how it plays out. A load posts, you respond fast because that is how the spot market works. The broker confirms the load, sends a rate confirmation, and everything looks like a normal transaction. You pick up, you deliver, you send the paperwork. Then you find out that the company on your rate confirmation was not a licensed freight broker. They were a third party who received the load from the actual licensed broker, took a cut, and moved it to you without authorization. Sometimes both parties disappear after delivery. Sometimes the licensed broker pays the unauthorized party and considers their obligation fulfilled. Either way, you end up with a rate confirmation that does not match any party willing to pay you. The paperwork looks legitimate at every step. The load is real. The shipper exists. The delivery happens. The fraud is invisible until after you have already done the work. Here's the detail that makes this particularly damaging. Because the transaction looks legitimate when you accept it, operators rarely run extra checks on loads that have already passed a quick visual inspection. The scam is designed to get past that first screen. Before you haul another brokered load, run these 5 checks every time. First, verify active authority on the FMCSA website directly, not through a third party. Type in the MC number yourself. Confirm the authority status is currently authorized for property brokerage. Revoked or inactive authority is a hard stop, full stop. Second, check the bond. Go to the FMCSA licensing and insurance database and verify the bond or trust fund is active and current. An expired bond on an otherwise active broker is a red flag that deserves a direct call before you move. Third, look at how long they have been in business. A broker registered less than 12 months ago with no established payment reputation is a higher risk transaction by definition. That does not mean do not haul it. It means price that risk consciously and decide if the rate justifies it. Fourth, watch for pressure. Legitimate brokers do not rush you past verification steps. If someone is telling you to skip the paperwork, move fast before the load is gone, or questioning why you need to verify their credentials, that is not urgency. That is a signal. Fifth, confirm the MC number on your rate confirmation matches the FMCSA record exactly. Name, address, principal officer. If anything does not match, make a direct call to the brokerage using a number you find independently, not one provided by whoever sent the confirmation. In 2026, broker selection is not a compliance task. It is cash flow management. The carriers who are getting hurt right now are not careless operators. They are experienced people who trusted relationships they had no specific reason to question. The scams are sophisticated enough that due diligence is not guaranteed protection, but it is your best available tool, and running through a consistent checklist takes less time than chasing an unpaid invoice for 3 months. Do the check every load, without exception. If this gave you something practical, subscribe. I put out a video every week on the business side of trucking, broker risk, load decisions, market reads, and the stuff that actually affects whether you make money or not.